Hi, thank you for joining me today. Dietitian nutritionist Emilia Zuev, helping you lose weight and improve your gastrointestinal function. Today I'd like to talk about protein, and more importantly, its role in your weight loss endeavors. So protein, my friends, protein, it is very, extremely important for you to meet your protein needs, especially if you're trying to lose weight. There is a term or a condition which I call the carbohydrate trap. This is when your diet is concentrated predominantly on carbohydrates and not enough protein. What does that mean? Well, if you, for example, wake up and you have a cereal with milk and the total protein intake for that meal is about 5 grams, whereas your needs are 30 grams. What does your body think? Oh wow, where's the protein? So it makes you hungry. An hour and a half later, you're opening cabinets, walking around your house, searching in your pantry for some snacks. Why? Because your body did not obtain the vital nutrient it needs to survive, and that is protein. So what if you wake up and you end up eating a breakfast that has 30 grams of protein in it, such as eggs and cheese and sausage or whatever else you might be having high in protein? This is what it means for you to get enough protein. You avoid unhealthy snacking, because truly, very often we snack and we really don't need to snack, and the calories that we obtain from the snacks, 9 out of 10 are going to be unhealthy ones. So snacking between meals is not recommended for anyone that's trying to lose weight. And why is protein so important? Well, when you think about it, everything in your body is made of protein. Not only skeletal muscle. The only thing that people think about is skeletal muscle because your muscles are made out of protein. Now that that's not true. Yes, it's true. Your proteins are providing food for skeletal muscle, so the more protein you eat, the more skeletal muscle you build. However, there are so many other things in your body that are made out of protein as well, such as your neurotransmitters, your hormones, the happy hormones, serotonin, melatonin. Those are also made of peptides, and peptides are made of amino acids. Your digestive enzymes, also made out of protein. Your hair, your nails, your skin, protein. So, well, now you know protein is very important, but you're not getting enough. And instead of protein, you are providing a carbohydrate-rich diet. Your body continues to be hungry and you fall into the carbohydrate trap, which results with weight gain. Don't fall in the trap. Eat enough protein with every single meal so you stay satiated and you will ultimately lose weight. So what are my protein needs? How much protein do I need to eat? This is the question I'm asked very often the moment that my patients realize the power of protein and how important it is for them to meet their protein needs. So if you'd like to be exact and determine exactly how much protein you need per day, we look at a few parameters. The first is your weight. Ideally, we'd like to take into account your muscle mass. So the more muscle mass you have, the more protein you need, because those starving muscles need to be fed by amino acids. So yes, but if you don't have in-body scanner and you don't know your percentage of skeletal muscle, then weight will do. Okay, let's look at some estimated equations and figure out how much protein you need. The second parameter, which determines how much protein you need per day, that would be your activity. If you are sedentary, meaning that you're doing only a small amount of activity related to daily living, then your daily requirements for protein are 0.8 gram of protein per day if you're using the metric system, or kilograms, or 0.37 grams of protein per pound body weight. Well, what if you are active? What if you're what we call low active? And the parameters for that are if you're active between 60 and 150 minutes of moderate activity per week, then your protein needs increase to 1 gram per kilogram body weight, or 0.4 gram per pound of body weight if you're using pounds as your measure. However, what if you are what we call moderately active, which is considered to be between 150 and 250 minutes of moderate activity per week? Then your protein needs increase to 1.2 grams of body weight or 0.54 grams of protein per pound per day. Okay, now the question comes, well, how do I know how much protein is in everything? And it's so overwhelming, it's just too much. I understand it may be too much, it may be overwhelming, and if for those of you who really like to know their protein needs, and they also like to make sure they have met their protein needs, they can use those estimated equations to figure out their protein needs, and then measure those needs against their caloric and protein carbohydrate intake accounted by an app. You can use MyFitnessPal, or you can use any kind of app that estimates your carbohydrates, protein and fats, your macronutrients. Well, there are, however, people that don't like to use those apps because they find them very cumbersome, they find them annoying, they think that it's too much work to do that. You can only do that for a couple of days if this is your usual intake and you normally eat always the same things. That's one way to do it. Another way to look at it is if you decide to eyeball your plate and ask yourself, well, how much protein is on my plate? Of course, you always want to have a protein in every single meal. I don't recommend that anyone will ever have a protein deprived meal, but protein has to account for at least a quarter of your plate, and then the carbohydrate portion of your plate should be another quarter, and then half of your plate should be filled with non-starchy vegetables such as broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower, lettuce, green leafy vegetables of any kind that you like. And when you eat that way, when you have the proper proportion of carbohydrates, protein and fats, then you will most likely not be needing to snack between your meals, and you will lose weight.